on the 2.2k circuit. So all entry details are via MXT, and they'll be out available shortly. And they're celebrating their 100th anniversary in 2020 next year with some great activities going on, and particularly over April. So hmcc.mship@gmail.com. Check it out. The Hamilton Motorcycle Club, your host this weekend on the way, Brad.
Here we go. Good start from Ben Rosendale off the front row of the grid, and Nick Kane follows him into turn one. And then we see back, that's the double. CD Vandermeer, Builder Suzuki attack. That's Matt Brough in there as well. Andy McLaughlin, he got a good start as well. So this is a two-horse race for the title. Ben Rosendale on 221 points, and then go back to Nick Kane on 210, 11 points back. So that's your fight for the title. Michael Patchett there in third place is 88 points behind, so with the 75 points on offer, unable to win this title. So it's a two-horse race at the moment. And it is the two guys out in front at the moment. Ben Rosendale leading Nick Kane, and already trying to sneak a little bit of an advantage. Matt Brough there on the CD Vandermeer Builders Suzuki. He's in third place with his teammate SJ Cavell there in four. So that's going to be a good little battle too. They had some good battles at Manfield, those two CD Vandermeer Builders Suzukis. Absolutely brilliant. Then we see Andy Max up there as well, Michael Patchett and others there having a great little battle. So Pro Twin Racing really has brought us some of the most spectacular racing so far in NZSBK, and nothing to suggest this 8-lapper won't be another good one.
I tell you what, the Ben Nick battle is going to go right down to the wire for sure, because we know Nicky's adaptable. He's a wiry man, and he's although from the mainland, he's done very well here at Taupo in the past. So don't expect anything different. Ben Rosendale's taken a long time to get wound up for the series, interestingly enough. So quite keen, I suppose, to see that he can just step it out and step it up for another great event. So there we go, the commentator's dream with Nick in the Mega Motorcycle Centre livery and that orange bike, so we can see him slotted into that second place at the moment. So there's Ben out there at a 140. Well, we'd predicted that this weekend that would be at least 3-lap records broken, and that we possibly could have more. We know that already we've had 2-lap records broken today, and today's not exactly been a lap record breaking day. It's been a cooler air around, so it hasn't been as warm as perhaps it might have wanted to be. But Supersport 300 and the Jigsaw clubs have new lap record holders here at Taupo, but that's just the advent of our sport and the growth of it, and the technology that's going with it, and everything from tyres to motorcycle machinery and accessories. So that's great to see. And this Pro Twin one should be a cracker. But I'll tell you what, that Sam Davison time at a 1:37 that he had done is certainly something to be idolised, because Ben's time, and he does not look slow out there at the moment, is 1:40, a whole 3 seconds off lap time material. So there it is, the Ben and Nick show about to be put on with Matt, SJ, Michael, Chris, Vaughan, Jace, Phil out there. Phil Munt, shout out to Phil. I just love this man's attitude to sport, because he's sort of the social media leader of the group. He's doing so much. He's been able to get a voice enough for Pro Twins that they've been able to get their own racing when they were otherwise amalgamated within other classes, and they've had well over 20 riders at some of the events. For whatever reason, is it a battle of attrition? We're unsure, but we've only gone down to 11 for this event, Brad, so it really has been severely decimated, this class, for unknown factors.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Josh Augustine. He was one of the hot shots. His bike blew up at Manfield. He's unable to get that going. We've got broken shoulders from Matt Dunlop. We've also got Alex Butts, and he's had a shoulder injury as well. So big time injuries there. And we've got this battle for the lead at the moment. So coming alive as we see Ben Rosendale, Nick Kane with that front end of that SV650 all over the place into turn one. Matt Brough riding a good race. He's in third place. SJ Cavell there in a good fourth place, all on his own. Michael Patchett, he's sitting there in fifth. Chris Bird up there as well. So this is all on. Vaughan Main, Jace Augustine and Phil Munt with Alistair Wee, your top 10 in drama on the infield at this flip-flop. And Andy McLaughlin is gone off the track and is out of this one. So we've got Andy Mack trackside, and more bad luck for Andy Mack in this championship.
Oh, well, we've certainly had some drama at that part of the track, Brad. It's normally quite innocent, as it were, unless there's actually a duel going on and somebody touches another bike, because it's a bit tight through there. But other than that, it's been rather an innocent part, but certainly had its share of dramas out there today. Pro Twin Racing, part of our Carcox Motorsport event, brought to you in conjunction with Suzuki, and the GSXR range, of course, own the racetrack. Winners of more New Zealand Superbike titles than any other manufacturer in the history of New Zealand road racing. Suzuki, a way of life at www.suzuki.co.nz. Yes, indeed, won the title in 06, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, and it's all on a set, of course, to do it again in 19 as well. Own the racetrack with Suzuki and the GSXRs. As we see you with, of course, Pro Twins in this field, absolutely dominated by Suzuki's as well. There is the Yamaha MT in here by what has been a couple of competitors over the series, but only one of them. But all of those top riders up there have got their models. And the other great news, of course, Brad, is that these guys have worked with Motorcycle New Zealand to secure this class for the next 3 years, which is then going to mean that other people will invest in getting the new Gen 3 bike, which is the next generation of Suzuki SV650s. And with a bit of a shadow hanging over the SV Pro Twin class as to whether it was going to continue, well, people weren't going to invest in it. And when you think of these bikes at doing lap times around here, is what we're witnessing at the moment of a 137, and you think of Supersport 300s at doing 142s. This is actually slightly faster than Supersport racing. So for those that want to step up out of lesser classes, 250 or maybe even Gixxers, this is a good pathway to go on a fabulous, powerful bike that gives you a lot of good racing. So bring on the Pro Twins in the Suzuki SV650.
Absolutely, and you're not just buying into the class. There's a whole family, the Pro Twins family. They're brilliant. They're interchanging parts with each other. There's no he said, she said. It's all a big family, and they love to go racing. And every 650 out there is definitely all friends with each other. So it's absolutely a brilliant family, and we love Pro Twins racing. As we see Ben Rosendale heading down into the hairpin with Nick Kane under a bit of pressure from Matt Bro. The battle for second and third, well and truly alive. SJ Cavell still sitting there in fourth place. So some good results coming from SJ in the latter parts of this championship. Michael Patchett there, he's sitting in third in points, but fifth in the race. With Nick Southerwood not riding this weekend, Matt Bro and SJ Cavell could take a little bit of a points buffer, and the battle for third NZ in this Pro Twins class is going to come alive, I think, so look out for that one. But into the flip-flop, Ben Rosendale, he's been a class act on the Southerwood Racing team, Jenny and Holmes Suzuki, and he comes out of turn 14 down the front straight with Nick Kane now and Matt Bro. I reckon Matt Bro's going to wind up a little move down the front straight here to see if he gets a good drive out of there. Is he going to be close enough? He likes to go wide into turn one. We'll see if he gets a little bit of a cut back and heads into the infield, but Matt Bro definitely the man on track to keep an eye on.
Well, here we go. So it is all on for the Pro Twins. And in fact, we talk about the domination of the SV Suzuki, of course, but it's not a class. It's like the Gixxers and only for Suzuki, but it's just that they're the dominant bike in racing for our Pro Twins. We used to have a Pro Twin many years ago for open capacity, which had favoured other bike brands as well, but it proved to be less competitive, and it's now come back to what these were actually more the junior field, because we did have bigger bikes like 900s and 1000s in there in Pro Twin racing, but now it's become a domain for the 650, or around the 650, of course, when you've got the Yamaha a few more CC, but it doesn't quite seem to have the same development that the Suzuki has had, and therefore not getting the same results. So not as many people on board, but a great class with a great combination of bikes in there. Yesterday, the SJ Cavell, the man out of Clive and Hawke's Bay on the Carl Vandermeer Builders, East World Engineering, White's Power Sports, Suzuki New Zealand, Dynolab, Taupo, Bridgestone, and Fast Eddie Cycles supported rider. So go SJ. A chance, as Brad said. Ben and Nick, they've got the 1 and 2 wrapped up, but who's going to be in third place? It's throw all the names in the hat, and we'll pull out the winner at the end of tomorrow, because it's anybody's opportunity.
Absolutely brilliant stuff from the Pro Twins as we see them down the back straight. That's Ben Rosendale. Matt Bro now up into second place, so that's exactly what Ben wants for this championship. He's got the 11-point lead, and with Matt, the little meat in the championship sandwich, that'll be a good little points advantage. Nick Kane now back into third place. He's on the Repsol Heatmiser Underground Brown Mega Motorcycle Centre bright orange bike in third place, the number 33. So they head down, and they have a massive 4 laps to go, so this is brilliant stuff from them, and we see them through the infield. Ben Rosendale, he's definitely sneaking out a little bit of advantage. Has Matt Bro got anything for him?
Oh yeah, good question. Keen to watch it as they extend it, and looking out there at the moment. Matt, wow, what a ride. Yes, indeed, that CDV team has certainly got something to show for their excellence. And, well, it just looked at Brad in the early stages as if it was just going to be the two of them to smoke away. But what has Matt said out there? What's been the difference? Because all of a sudden, let alone the fact that he's got past Nick, but look out Ben Rosendale, because I'm coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if Brad, that time at the 137 that we looked at before, but that is way better than what we were focusing on before. The lap record in there for Pro Twins at 137.0. This is 137.6, so we're only 0.5 off lap record material. So super close and exciting, and that's been the improvement by Ben. But I tell you what, Matt in there to do extremely well as well, so keen to look out for it as we go racing. 65, 39, 33 for those of you watching it by numbers. It is Ben Rosendale in front, the number 65, the man out of Whangamata. He would have been hard pushed to trying to get out of Whangamata last weekend for an amazing event called Beach Hop, which brings a whole lot of classic car lovers to the great Coromandel seaside town. And they had a big one there last weekend as he came through to Manfield to be part of our road racing there. The 39 up there for Matt. He comes out of Paraparamu on the Kapiti coast and closing it down. Yes, and we're right. And Matt's got 137.139. That lap record is 137.057. Brad, we are less than 1/10 of a second off that lap record. And as predicted, it is Matt Bro to have done all the work. And look at that, he's now on the tail of Ben. What's he flicked the switch? What's happened? In fact, here he goes. He might look for a run to try and get up on the inside. Can he get the advantage? We'll go into the turn and watch him on the... Oh, there's no room. There's no room. There's the ripple strip. I'm sure he must have tried to run over it. He hasn't got it yet, but I tell you what, I don't think it's far away, Brad.
Absolutely brilliant, Matt Bro. We said it a lap ago, but he was 1.8 seconds back then. Now, look, he's right on the back wheel of Ben Rosendale, and this is positive stuff from the CD Vandermeer Builders man, and he'd had nothing better than a 5th position heading into Manfield last weekend, and he got a 2nd place, so his first podium in Pro Twins action. He's actually a graduate of the Jigsaw Cup from last year as well, so absolutely brilliant to see him come Pro Twin racing and dicing for the lead. And Ben Rosendale, he's got a championship fight on his hands. He doesn't want to be doing too much dicing with Matt, but the run down into the hairpin, there's still a lap and a half to go as we see them down into the left-hander. This is going to be a brilliant little battle. They go out of our sight. We watch on the Ctas live update, and side by side as they head out of the hairpin, it's going to be Ben Rosendale just, but a full-on drag race down the back straight. This is going to be a good one to keep our eyes on.
Well, in fact, when it's a drag race, certainly you don't want to be fighting it out and trying to punch your own ear up through the centre of it and make the late braking and try and get through there. In fact, I think they were the other way around, Brad, and all of a sudden I think it's come back. So I think Ben is back in the lead at the moment, but I think he'd lost it for a short bit of time there as we look for the battle, and it's going to be a white flag. You think there was a checkered flag waiting the way these guys are nudging handlebars and bumping plastic to plastic as they fight their way through, and it is still Ben Rosendale just by 0.184 as we go, and there's still that better time of Matt Bro. He did the better lap on the previous one, the 137.139, only that 1/10 of a second off lap record material for the scintillating Pro Twin race out there at the moment with Ben Rosendale. Probably, well, cruising's the wrong word, but you get the idea. He had a handsome buffer, and in fact, oh, look at that from this time from Matt. Instead of being on his right shoulder, he's on the left shoulder, and then he's going to try and sweep across. He's cut across on the corner. I think he's got it, Brad.
I think he's done it. Pulled it off, took the line away. What an undercut. Took a turn 4 line and just sort of cut the inside of the track into turn 5 and leads them now around the left-hander. That's turn 7 as we watch Matt Bro. This is going to be electric. We see the Suzuki's boys on the pit wall. The CD Vandermeer Builders team come to life. This is brilliant. George Moyer, he'll be climbing the fence in a little bit. Good big hello to Georgie there down on the pit wall, but Matt Bro taking the lead on the final lap of this one. He heads down around the sweeping turn 9. And Ben Rosendale, he's going to pull up alongside him. This is not done for yet, so the run to the left-hand hairpin is all on at the moment. So absolutely brilliant stuff. And this is what we want to see, the Pro Twin action coming alive. Nick Kane still there in 3rd place on the bright orange bike. Side by side.
His score so far, 9-11, 11, 9, 10, 9, 9, 9, 11, 20, 11. So a 2nd place is the best he'd done prior to this. 2nd place. And here he is with a chance on the last lap to do it. Bring him home, Brad.
Side by side as they head into the flip-flop, and no quarter given. Ben Rosendale just takes the line away. He's up there, but then side by side. Too wide as they head into turn 14. Matt Bro's got the inside line. Oh, he has a big moment and bucks out of the seat. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Matt Bro's going to do it. Brilliant stuff. Matt Bro's going to take the win ahead of Ben Rosendale, and that's white knuckle stuff into turn 14. He was well out of the seat. And brilliant stuff. Nick Kane, he's going to finish in 3rd. SJ Cavell with a brilliant 4th. And Matt Bro, this is the story to tell. What a race from him in the last lap. He's just the 10th off lap record pace, and you'd say he probably would have broken it, but had to battle for the lead. And what a win. Absolutely brilliant. And that's what we've come to expect, Pro Twin racing. So good news for Nick Kane. That's not as many points that Ben's going to take away from him. So still well and truly in the title fight. So this is going to be all on. But Matt Bro, with that win, I think that's moved him up to 3rd in the championship. He was only 1 point behind him, and then 2 points behind Michael, so definitely got more than 3 points that time around. So he's got the 3 on his bike now, and he could be able to keep it on there. So that's 3rd in the championship now, that's provisionally, just through my math, so we don't want to trust that too much, but I reckon Matt Bro, with that race win, has gone into third in the championship behind Ben and Nick, so absolutely brilliant.
Hey, Brad, now think about that in comparison. He's only been on the podium twice. This is the first win he's had. His only other placing was 1 second, and you're third overall. I think that sums up our whole championship for this class, doesn't it? Because when you're even and you're scoring points in every race, you're doing pretty good, because we've had other heroes, but they've also become heroines, and they've gone up and then they've gone down. So we've had some big highs and some big lows, the sawtooth of racing, and we've seen them crash and literally burn in many of the races. So what a story to tell. If you finish in every race and you only get 2 podiums, and there you are already in third place, and that, if all he'd have to do is repeat that or anything close to it tomorrow, and he's got number 3 NZ.
Absolutely brilliant. So the update, Matt Bro taking the win ahead of Ben Rosendale, and then go back to a brilliant ride from Nick Kane, doing all he needs to do, just keeping in the championship hunt. So brilliant stuff from him. Then we go back to SJ Cavell in 4th, with Michael Patchett there finishing in a good 5th place. So our awesome Pro Twin Racing, absolutely brilliant stuff from them. And we coming up next with the Supersport 150 class. So we are at time 12 minutes past 5 o'clock. So Supersport 150, and brilliant to see them mixing in with a few of the Gixxer Cup boys and a few of the 250 production boys as well. So they're going to have some awesome racing coming up in a minute. So absolutely brilliant. But Pro Twin Racing, absolutely electrifying. And we'll have to catch Neil. He's got the podium guys down there at the moment, and jubilation for the CD Vandermeer Builder Suzuki team. Absolutely brilliant. Nick Kane, he's in there as well, so well and truly alive in the title fight. So the updated results, Matt Bro with the win and a 1:37.1, so 1/10 of a second off lap record pace. Ben Rosendale finishing in 2nd place, Nick Kane in 3rd, SJ Cavell with the 4th, Michael Patchett in 5th, Chris Burt got up for 6th place, Vaughan Main in 7th, Jace Augustine, a great 8th place for him, Phil Munty gets the 9th place, and Alistair Ware there in 10th, rounding out your top 10 with Andy Mack retiring from that one. So we'll cross down to Neil, who will have our Pro Twins podium.
Suggesting to Matt that he get his helmet off, because it looked much better on the podium without his helmet. He says, but it's cold though. So there you go. Wow, what a cool race. Man, oh man, is this great or what? As we watch our stars take their space up here at the moment, and look at that, people like Eddie want to rush over here as well. So, and listen to the applause out there. Fantastic. Nick, did you have any idea what those 2 guys were doing up in front of you? They were mad.
Yeah, I saw some passes and I was like, oh, it'll be my luck that I win this, but they didn't touch each other enough, so it was good enough. I think the bike was working well, and I just need to push a bit harder tomorrow when warmer conditions, hopefully.
Yeah, we certainly hope for that. Hey, you're another South Island visitor. What do you think of Taupo?
Taupo's a good track. It's quite technical, but it is a nice track to ride on. The grip levels are different to other tracks, which is quite hard, but otherwise, I can't complain. It's good.
Well done. Nick Kane joining us in 3rd place. Oh, Ben. Hey, mate, you were just out there in the front from a race point of view. We were talking about where Matt and the rest of the guys were back in 3rd place, because you and Nick were out there cruising. All of a sudden, this guy next year flicks the switch. Mate, he pushed you hard.
Yeah, no, he did, eh? I had no rear grip for the last 3 laps, and the bike was bucking me out of the seat a little bit, so I did roll off a little bit just to bring the bike home. But, full credit to... he's riding real well, Matt, so bring on tomorrow, eh?
Bring on tomorrow, yes indeed we do. Congratulations, Matt. We were just analysing your points before this. You've only been on the podium once before. You've now gone from 5th place to 3rd place with a chance to stay there as well, and now you've taken your first win. Well done. How do you feel right now?
Oh, it feels awesome, man. Yep, ready to keep going tomorrow. Yep.
What do you think's been the secret? We're looking at those points, just improving at all those rounds. Is it, as they call it, time on the bike?
Yeah, stay on the bike, finish every race, and the points mount up.
Yeah, you're dead right. A lot of people could learn from that over this championship, staying on your bike. Tell us a bit about your background in racing. You're a very inexperienced rider, really.
Yeah, started last year. Carl asked me if I just wanted to start racing at work, and so started on the Gixxer Cup and the 150s, and progressed onto the Pro Twins this year. Yeah.
Tell everybody how old you are.
Oh,
21.
21, do you hear that? There's our future of the sport. Well done. And listen to the Charlie Vandermeer Builders team here. So excited. Well done. There you go, folks. Nick, Ben and Matt here. What a great run in Pro Twins. Yes, it's still daylight, only just here. It's gone 5 o'clock and we've still got 2 great races. Back to Brad in the start. The 150 is coming up next.